Recording in progress. Hello, everyone. Mary Esther Gilbert here, nutritional physiologist, sports nutritionist, holistic nutritional healing specialist, researcher, writer, educator, doing this for 45 years, writing books, retired my practice 12 years ago. So that's just a real quick rendition of who I am. For those of you who have never been to this channel before, I welcome you. Today, I would like to introduce to you one of my two latest books that I just published. And the one I'm going to be talking about today is the Eating for Physical Power and Stamina. All right, so yeah, eating for physical power and stamina. This is the knowledge that people need in order to succeed in their fitness ventures, in their just beginning to exercise, or those who are serious about your fitness, or even those who are elite athletes who would like to just integrate the optimal nutritional power that you can have in order to have consistent, strong, high endurance workouts. All right, so this is my system that I have been teaching clients for many, many years, and I've been applying for my own health and fitness. So I'm a very young 68. And let me tell you, this is me on the cover 38 years ago. And yeah, I was one of those hard bodies, right? And my friends at the gym convinced me to just try out for a bodybuilding contest. And so this is, the culmination of weeks and weeks of hard work to get the body fat down and get the muscles built up, and didn't like paying that much attention to myself. I had to, get some sunlight and just go through this whole rigmarole. But it taught me a lot about how to build muscle and how to keep the fat down in order to compete at a contest like this. But you don't have to go overboard like that. I didn't do that for very long because it was just so much time invested in just maintaining, and for what, I looked great, felt great, but I have been able to maintain a high level of fitness all of those years. I started weight training in 1974. I started running, shortly thereafter. I used to do things like racquetball, and I took ballet and yoga, and all those way back when. But then I joined the martial arts, and this was like 20 years later, and I was able to stick to that for 20 years and go on to teach it and earn my black belt and that kind of thing. But so I've been through the gamut of what it takes to maintain your fitness through the years and avoid retiring early. I've seen so many athletes that I've consulted with, and they just had injuries that were old injuries that they never really fully recovered from. So this book is all about how to maintain your trillions of muscle cells, or all the cells in your body, multiple trillions of cells in the body, to keep them youthful and functioning so that you can enjoy your workouts without feeling like it's torture. So many people drop out of their workout routines because they don't know how to replenish their bodies nutritionally so that they can continue on with the fitness maintenance process. And being fit means you are enjoying your life. You have abundant amount of energy. You don't have mental or physical fatigue if you do it right. So this is my system that I'd like to talk about with you today. And then I'm going to just show you how you can order the book. All righty. All right. So let's just go into what's inside the book. I'm going to take you past the cover so you don't have to judge a book by its cover. I'm going to tell you, go briefly from chapter to chapter and introduce my principles on how to maintain fitness and energy. All right, so in the first chapter, I just give people an overview, successful fitness health management. So there's some critical fundamentals that people need to understand. They need to eat clean fuel in order to have clean, strong, in high endurance, high energy workouts, to not feel like, oh, I've got to go to the gym, and oh, I've got to go lift those heavy weights, and just feel like you don't want to. So let's eliminate that so that you can succeed, right? So anyway, the first chapter is all about that kind of thing. The second chapter, I introduce my nutritional synergy system. In fact, I just published a book and I just produced a video. If you haven't seen it in the video playlists on this channel, but I just produced this book here, and it takes you through my nutritional system on how to choose the foods in 14 different categories, so that you can balance your food intake and maintain your high energy levels. And my system has been used for all manner of health ailments, for health recoveries kind of thing. But in this Eating for Physical Power book, I also introduced my system, maybe not as detailed and elaborate, going into the science of your own nutritional physiology, but I do cover it pretty well in this book. If you want to get both books, then you'd have a very great integration of everything there is to know about your own nutritional physiology. And also with this book, you understand how your body utilizes all of the nutrients to produce abundant amount of energy and to rebuild your tissues and recuperate from your workouts every single time, so that you continue to improve your fitness progress and maintain your youthful body. When you're doing everything right, then your cells are younger and you're producing growth hormone, which is the master hormone to determine how strong and healthy the rest of your cells are as they're continuing to produce and maintain your whole system. Okay, so anyhow, we're just talking about this book in this video, but please go to the video that I produced on the other book and get the benefit of the information from that too. All right, so in chapter 2, the nutritional synergy system that I put together for my clients many years ago, over 40 years ago, when I had my holistic health practice, I realized with all of my unique combination of education, clinical dietetics, nutritional science, and my holistic education, what I found to be even more valuable for helping people maintain their body and to heal and recover from all sorts of health issues. So when you nourish the body, I found when you nourish it properly and you exercise and you combine it correctly, there's definitely a method to making sure that your body gets back to normal and then thrives. Okay, so that's what my nutritional synergy system does. So I combine that with my True Health Mastery system and my holistic fitness system into this one book that we're talking about today, so that people can maintain their fitness well into your advanced years. You don't have to age rapidly. You don't have to become more and more decrepit as time goes on. You can maintain a youthful amount of fitness, and I don't see anything that's diminishing for my health and my fitness and my energy levels. So this is why I've been teaching this to my clients. I've worked with athletes in the martial arts and in the bodybuilding world and runners. I was the nutritionist for a group of college level runners. So I just taught them my system, and they had more endurance and avoided the many stress injuries that athletes experience. Okay, so yeah, that's my system. I go through 14 different categories of foods, because when you divide foods further into just the basic proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, and maybe the vegetable group and the fruit group, that's just so inadequate, because people don't choose a wide enough variety of foods to ensure that their system is receiving the full range of not just vitamins and minerals, but active enzymes that help catalyze. They're the catalyst for every biochemical reaction that happens in the body. So when you eat raw, organically grown, nutrient-rich foods and animal-derived foods that have been grown humanely and healthfully, organically, then you have an elevated amount of nutrients, and also an elevated amount of phytochemical compounds. And that's a vast variety of plant chemicals that people just don't get enough of. So the more variety of foods in the plant kingdom you eat, and the more healthful the animal-derived food sources are from eating those nutrient-rich, plant-derived foods, then you're going to have so much more in your body that will energize your trillions of cells. So I go into that in chapter 2. Then in chapter 3, I talk about how to avoid the injuries, becoming more aware of what's happening when you exercise, and to pay attention to, how much stress can my body take? If you're starting out, then of course it won't have the built-in reaction to hard physical labor, hard physical workouts. So that comes gradually and with the right nourishment after every workout. So your body can adjust to more and more challenging workouts as time goes on. And with your body adjusting and getting stronger and having more endurance as time goes on, this has to be done a bit gradually. You can't rush into these things or you'll get injured. It doesn't matter what age you are. If your body's not ready for the stress, especially on the joints and the connective tissues, the muscles, tend to respond, sure, but the connective tissues need to respond too. A lot of injuries are the result of the weak link, building their muscles, getting stronger and stronger, and just pushing themselves harder and harder, and just going all gung-ho, and suddenly they get an injury. They get a tear in the joint or ligaments or the tendons. And so those things take a bit longer than muscles to recuperate. So you want to take it a little bit more steadily and progressively rather than more aggressively. So chapter 3 is how to avoid injuries and becoming more in tune with what your body's telling you. After a while, if you start, becoming more of an adept athlete, then you will come to know your body a lot more as you pay attention, and it will tell you what you need to do. If you're getting aches and pains after a workout, and of course you're going to expect that because you deplete your body a little bit when you work out. And when you replenish nutritionally right afterwards and you rehydrate, then your body's cells will respond by becoming more efficient and gathering the synergistic strength and coordination, stamina. And so the body's amazing that way. It'll just respond to whatever stimuli it's subjected to. So in the workouts, that's what it's doing. It's responding by becoming stronger, but only if you nourish yourself properly after every workout and stay hydrated. And that means cutting out all the junk, but that's another chapter. We'll get to that shortly. But so yeah, you don't want to ruin your workouts. You don't want to impair your progress. You want to optimize your potential for your optimal health and physical performance. So in chapter 4, I talk about how nourishing yourself properly will protect all of the interactive systems of the body. The digestive system, the cardiorespiratory system, the kidneys, all these different, the lymph nodes, the heart, everything works together and in great communication when you're highly nourished, especially when you're subjecting yourself to physical labor, So you don't want to run into nutritional or rather energy deficits from poor nutrition. So that's going to ruin your workout. You're going to feel fatigued and tired. You're going to dread your workouts. You don't want to impair your progress. Nutrition is the key, and not just the general guidelines that are out there. This is serious nutrition, very precise nutrition for the precisional needs that your cells require in order to be fit. All right, so chapter 4, I talk about, I was just talking about chapter 4, the interactive body systems, and ridding the body of toxic chemicals. So we are exposed to toxic chemicals all the time. They're in the air, the pollution is in the water. Don't drink tap water, drink purified spring water, so that your cells will have a chance to detoxify properly and hydrate you properly and bring nutrients to the area via the circulatory systems in the body. So the blood vessels are not the only circulatory system in the body. You've got the lymph circulatory system as well. So everything is moving at the cellular level, nutrients coming in, water's coming in, flushing out toxins, and water's going out. And so this constant ebb and flow of water inside and outside of our cells is very, very important. Bringing nutrients, bringing oxygen, things like that. Okay, so cleaning up the body's inner pollution is extremely important, and I cover that in chapter 4 as well. So then we have chapter 5, building the body's efficiency and maintaining youthful functioning. right? So over time, like I said, it starts improving more and more. You start looking younger, you start having more energy mentally, you're able to focus and concentrate, and your learning abilities, your learning capacity improves, memory, things like that. And also the hormonal system is nourished as well and adjusts, right? Because we have over 10,000 hormones that regulate all of the systems in the body. They monitor, along with the nervous system and the immune system, they all work together to monitor the entire system to make sure that the body stays in biochemical balance. Chapter 5 goes into that somewhat, and that's how you maintain your body's efficiency and your youthful functioning. All right, and also in chapter 5, I have total body fitness, my total body fitness program, and I love it. I call it my holistic approach to fitness because it's important to maintain flexibility so that your tendons and your joints and your ligaments and your muscles aren't prone to tears and breakages, under stress. Maintaining the flexibility and pliability of those tissues is extremely important to avoid injuries. It's important for the whole body to maintain that kind of structure. So flexibility is important, and building strength and stamina. So that means cardiovascular strength and stamina, respiratory oxygen capacity through the lungs, making sure you've got endurance in those areas as well. So I talk about all of that. Then I go into the different body parts, the arms and the muscle, the leg muscles, the gluteus maximus and the leg biceps and the calf muscles, the deltoids and the biceps and the triceps, and exercises that help strengthen and sculpt the body. If back in the 80s we called bodybuilding body sculpting as well, because you can literally improve the physique and the symmetry of your physique by the types of weight training exercises that you apply to individual muscle groups. Okay, so the back muscles also, there's different muscle groups in the back as well, the abdominals, everything can be sculpted to your specifications. Of course, to a point, you're not going to completely transform everything. If it's not genetically possible, but yeah, I've been able to balance out, my body symmetry through weight training. So it's not just for strengthening the muscles and creating the muscle endurance that everyone desires. It also makes things more pleasingly aesthetic as well, and that's always fun. Okay, and then also the third component to fitness is the cardiorespiratory capacity of being able to maintain an elevated heart rate and actually kick into the fat burning cycle. So you've got the weight training with the muscle shaping and building and strength building, and you've got the fat burning kind of workout that will actually reveal, the kind of sculpting that you're doing with the muscles. So reducing body fat and maintaining, it's not all about narcissism. It's not about, being vain or anything. No, you're gaining a high level of fitness that has many, many benefits, so mentally, physically, emotionally, your hormones get in balance. So your moods are more stabilized, and you're able to think more logically and make better sound, calm decisions. You can react to stress more calmly. Relationships improve because you can think more cognitively and logically, and of course, you can just find that your emotions are just elevated as a human being. So you're better able to love and that kind of thing. So you go into this completely different superhighway of existence. So this is what I have seen over the 45 years I've been helping clients improve their physical health, and those who choose to exercise that is even more enhanced that way. So it's a beautiful thing to watch. It's like people finding their optimal potential when they work out and nourish their bodies properly and in a very timely manner. And I talk about the timeliness of all of this in this book as well. So it's your workout nutrition Bible, really, if you want to look at it that way. And it'll be referred to over and over again. It's like a little desk reference. It's not that that many pages, so it's a good read. And you can find things easily. But I've got a lot of great charts in this book for people to make their decisions more efficient. And being able to memorize what you need to do. So it's people like the book. They think it's very well put together. And it has to be, because you're going to be referring to it over and over again until you've got it down, until you master your physical fitness protocol and your nutritional protocol. You combine it all together. All right. So chapter 6, I go into my power principles. So, and that's building a strong foundation of knowledge, not just a physical, foundation, but your knowledge of your own nutritional physiology and how to just really master your fitness, being able to lose the body fat when you want to, build more muscle when you need to. If you take some time off from working out, you can always go back and pick up where you left off. If the body's that way, if you don't work out, then it's going to naturally slow down its metabolism. It's going to naturally preserve more fat because you won't be burning it off. The metabolism will be slower. But if you wait too long between your workouts, I understand life happens. I haven't been working out every single day consistently for 68 years. Well, not that. I started back in 79. So I was about 20 years old when 74 when I actually started working out. But transformed my figure. It was great. But yeah, I mean, it's important to keep in mind that it's more than just being vain. It's so much more than that. It just elevates the human being to their optimal potential. So power nutrition number 1, proper oxygenation and breathing. Of course, we can't live more than a few minutes or 2, 3, 4 minutes without oxygen, right? So of course, exercise will give you large volumes of oxygen, even if you're out walking, if it's a nice gentle pace of walking. If you're out of shape and you want to start out that way, you're still improving your circulatory system. You're still starting to detoxify more efficiently and utilize nutrients more thoroughly to maintain the quality of your not only cells and your cell structure, your trillions of cells that compose the entire body, you're also maintaining your DNA, the genetic code of life that's present in every single one of our trillions of cells. So it's important to, if you can't exercise, at least do some yoga, deep breathing, meditative kind of deep breathing to calm. And while you're calming your spirit, you're also increasing the circulation, right? So it doesn't matter if you are incapacitated or if you have, your whole body is able to exercise the whole system. Principle number 1. Okay, principle number 2 is drink correctly formed water. Proper hydration, detoxification, and realizing the healing properties of water. So tap water is not formed in the beautiful hexagonal shaped of H2O, molecules forming together to be able to pass through the cell membranes and truly hydrate the inside of our cells. That's where it's at. Everything is happening inside of our cells. So we have to make sure that everything in there is being just nourished and oxygenated and hydrated. Those are the very important things that happen in the micro world inside of our bodies. So proper hydration, and I talk all about that. You have to understand that purified spring water is more properly formed and hydrating than tap water is. Tap water is polluted. Sure, they get rid of the bacteria and the microbes that cause, dysentery and such, but not all of the nano-sized particles of drug residues or synthetic chemicals. Those aren't necessarily cleansed in our tap water. So I don't recommend drinking tap water. It does not quench your thirst, and it may, in fact, increase the toxins that are in your system. We do need to do something about that. as a civilization. So, let's all envision clear springs and clear lakes and clean oceans and things like that on our earth. We have the power of the mind, and collectively it actually is very powerful. All right. So that's water. I talk about the healing properties of water and how it's reactive to its surroundings, and how it actually has been shown. And I'm very science oriented, right? I'm a spiritual person, but I like to merge the two together. And when they both agree and they're both talking about the same thing, then it's a beautiful thing to behold. But anyway, water's been has been evaluated and tested and researched and studied for many decades, and so it does retain information. So if the water is if it's in a poisonous, toxic condition, then the water crystals will not form and will not be hydrating and not be healing and not be nourishing, and just won't be distributed where it's needed, kind of thing. But if the water has been exposed to positive music tones, words of prayer, words of love, words of gratitude, all of that kind of thing. And I give a few examples of some of the scientific research that's been done on water. So water is extremely important for people who are living every day, right? And especially those who are working out. We perspire, we sweat everything out. We have to replenish our water. I'm drinking water all day long, and I carry a bottle with me at the gym. Everybody who works out at the gym, of course, they carry their bottle around. And some people don't know, the possible toxins that are in tap water, so they go over to the drinking fountain and drink water. And I feel like saying, no, stop. You don't know what's in there. But anyhow, it's important to drink the right formed water. All right, so power nutrition principle number 3. I talk about the enzymes, which are the catalysts of life. They are the proteins that will help the body form new tissues and cells, help the body break down of food into its basic units of nourishment. So I talk quite a bit about the importance of enzymes. So eating raw foods is extremely important because they contain the very enzymes that'll help you digest that very food. But not only that, your body uses those enzymes to also build new body proteins. Our body's almost completely made out of protein, other than water and a few nutrients and some carbohydrates circulating around our bloodstream and that kind of thing. But for the most part, we are made mostly of protein, and enzymes are the very important life-promoting catalysts that our bodies need. So 50 to 75% raw foods in your daily diet, and you'll see your health transform. You'll see how much more energy you'll have, that kind of thing. Of course, the other food groups are extremely important too for maintaining our muscle tissue and our body proteins, our organs and the blood volume and bone density and all that kind of thing. Hair growth, skin, making your skin more youthful and healthful. So all that is important. All right, so enzymes. All right, now the next one is principle number 4. Then I go into really the various food groups, the animal-derived protein foods, and I really take a stand on that. I've done so much research, and I've been around athletes and in the bodybuilding world. I know how important animal-derived protein is. Some people who are vegans or vegetarians, I state the case. So yeah, I won't even go there because don't get me started, but just read that chapter. It's very important for your strength and endurance and your immune system and all the problems that people have that aren't, animal-derived eating. So enough of that. I do want to go on, you can tell, right? I just want to keep going on this subject, but it's in the book. It's all in there. Also, there's I'm just reading the table of contents and talking about the self-consumption of vegetarianism and the catabolic processes that go on when people don't get enough of the animal-derived proteins. Anyway, I'm just gonna leave it there, right? Okay, so then of course, there's the great dilemma. We don't want to harm animals, but I didn't make up how we made. God did that, God made our bodies, He made our system, and so we can't fight the creation. That's just how we are made. So I talk a little bit about that because I know there's an issue about that. You know, we don't want to harm our fellow animals, but like the Native American cultures and other cultures, they hold this extremely high reverence to the animal kingdom and so much gratitude for making us strong. And so it's part of the cycle of life. There are, you know, a lot of animals that will hunt and kill other animals for food, kind of thing. It's just part of nature. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I keep saying I'm not going to talk about it, but I can't help it. So anyhow, there's a lot of health consequences for amino acid deficiencies. And I talk about amino acids. If you don't know what amino acids are, they're just the basic foundational proteins that create a complete protein. So there are, when we eat a complete protein, our bodies break it down to amino acids. And so there are 8 or 9 essential amino acids, depending on your age, that the body cannot produce. And we need to obtain those from our diet more than once a day. And I advocate that people have a complete protein at every meal, you know, so that their body will not go into what's called a negative nitrogen balance, that kind of thing. So I explain all this in this chapter just to maintain your strength and your stamina. Just know that you need all of those amino acids present at all times. Otherwise, some biological process will come to a grinding halt. If your body it does not contain all of the amino acids, it will consume its own tissues in a less vital, you know, system. So muscles, tendons, those are the first to go if you become nitrogen balance deficient, you know. So I explain all that in that chapter. It's quite a chapter, and this is one of the most important chapters in the whole entire book if you want to succeed in your fitness, you know, endeavors. Okay, so then power nutrition, nutritional principle number 5. This one talks about whole food carbohydrates versus refined sugars. And I go into this whole elaborate explanation as to how the body uses the right types of molecules when it comes to the types of carbohydrates that we put in our bodies. Carbohydrates, if they're refined, if they're lacking nutrients, then they're going to be a real problem. There are more problems with obesity from, you know, just the misuse of carbohydrates than anything else. And that's true for the fats category too, but I'll be going into that shortly. So chapter 6, power nutrition number 6 is about the whole food fats and their healing and protective qualities if they're in the right molecular form. So I talk about the wrong types of fats and the right types of fats. My other videos will explain that a bit too. So look into my other videos on this channel and you'll learn a lot about your own nutritional physiology. But this book goes into it a lot more in depth. And you need this information to succeed in your fitness, you know, and nutritional endeavors. So that's why I'm teaching this in this book. It's so important. People need this so much. They make so many mistakes in their health management without knowing this vital knowledge. So, and especially if you're going to be pushing your body, you know, and testing its limits through becoming more fit, then you're going to need this knowledge or you will not succeed. And I've seen this, you know, working with athletes for many, many decades now. And I know it works for myself. And I've taught this to my other clients and my family and my friends. And so I've seen many, many health and fitness transformations over the years. And I want you to experience that too. If you're already a veteran athlete, then I know you'll find more enhancement and more detail and a lot of science. I have a lot of scientific research citations throughout this book. I always back myself up with very solid peer-reviewed studies on many of the subject matters that I touch in my books. Okay, so yeah, whole food fats. You don't want to have anything that's altered by heat, that kind of thing. So I go through that whole entire explanation in that section. Power nutrition principle number 8. I just go into emphasizing eating a lot of the plant kingdom. A huge variety of foods have a huge array of phytochemical compounds that have been shown to be highly beneficial. In my other book, Potent Superfoods for Lifelong True Health, I feature 109 botanicals and scientific monographs for every single botanical. And those are very well researched through peer-reviewed studies that I've evaluated and compiled in that book. So if you really want to know the power of plants, and then by all means, check out that book too. But Eating for Physical Power and Stamina, I do include the major classifications of the phytochemicals that are present in the plant foods. There's a chart in the back of the book that shows all the different types of botanicals and their phytochemicals and the health benefits. So I give a great overview of that. But if you really want to explore in depth, then get the Potent Superfoods for Lifelong True Health book. All right. So number 8, talking about vitamins and minerals, and the differences between certain kinds of vitamins and other types of vitamins and how the body utilizes them, water-soluble, fat-soluble vitamins. I go into that. And choosing the right supplement. I did write another book called How to Select the Right Nutritional Supplements. So if you want another deep dive into that, then that's another book you can add to your home library. Like a friend of mine calls it his Mary Esther Gilbert shelf in his home library. But I just want to share this knowledge and have the whole population be extremely healthy and strong, because when you have a strong population, you have a stronger nation and a more peaceful, and more intelligent and thoughtful and kind and loving people. Okay, I've seen these transformations, and I can tell you that that's what happens. Something happens at the energetic level, the light energy frequencies that our cells hold when we absorb a lot of these light energy active foods, then it transforms us. We have more of a beeline connection to the intelligent universe. Call this God, call this creator, or anything you'd like, but we do have a connection that we somehow lose when we lose touch with our own natural higher selves. Okay. All right. Power nutrition number 8, going on with that. I talk about the essential macro minerals, the major minerals, calcium, potassium, and all the major minerals, and the micro minerals that are extremely important too. We may not need high doses of them in milligram measurements, but we do need them in microgram measurements. And so the body knows what to do with them. Our DNA is so intelligent. It knows exactly what to do with all of these nutrients. It's programmed. It's in there. It's built into us. And it's up to us to maintain the quality, integrity of the genetic code. And this is the way to do it. This is the only way to do it. We can't cheat the universal laws that govern the universe, and we are a part of it. And so those same principles apply to our own inner universe, our own inner ecosystem. Then, wrapping it up, I talk about principle number 9, which is how to select the right supplements. I talk about that quite a bit in this book. And then also the final part of the book is I just kind of wrap it up and just try to provide words of encouragement and hope, and realize that we are in this flow of life. And when we apply the principles in this book, we are getting ourselves into that flow of life. And when you're in that flow, wonderful things happen. We can manifest things, eat more easily. Our interactions with others, we have a higher perspective, so the ascension of humankind rests on the health of humanity. That's what I've concluded, and that's what I'll end this video with. All right, so thank you so much. Again, you can go to holisticchoices.com. I will post the links below by the time you see this video. So this is my 2 latest books that I just produced and put out there for everyone. And this is something that each book offers, something more special and unique. And so they really do complement each other, even though I do mention, my holistic approach to exercise in this book, but I go into it a lot more in depth in this one. And the nutritional guidelines are in here as well. Not as, scientifically elaborate as this one. But anyhow, this video is about this one this time. So feel free to just check it out. Go to my website, holisticchoices.com, click on the Books by Mary Esther Gilbert page, and you'll see there's a video that I put in there that will help you as well with the Nutritional Synergy book. And I will be posting this video on that webpage as well. Okay, so I'm going to be closing out now. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps get the word out to people who are looking for what I do, looking for this information that's so life-saving and so life-changing, and to maintain the population at a higher level. So I'd appreciate it if you would share this with someone, post this on your social media account if you'd like, just so that we can get the population healthier and stronger, and we can handle and maybe even change the world. So great things are happening. It's an exciting time to be alive. But I thank you for being here, and I will see you in another video. Thank you so much. Bye.